everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stupid Ideas from Bad Creative. And this episode is on Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement for Saudi Arabia. It's also known as DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. I am joined by Sid. Hello, Sid.
There we go.
And he knows nothing about wrestling. I know everything about wrestling. He doesn't even know who Daniel Bryan is.
We did that last episode. We covered a good amount of Daniel.
Yep. But you don't know who he is.
But I don't know. Well, no.
Yeah.
Not specifically.
Yeah. What about John Cena?
Obviously.
Shawn Michaels?
No.
Undertaker?
Definitely.
Kane?
Yep.
Triple H?
Yes.
The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Vince McMahon?
Who?
Vince McMahon.
Oh, obviously. Yes.
What about Steve Blackman?
No.
Don't know Steve Blackman.
Nope.
Okay. What about D'Lo Brown?
Nope.
The greatest European champion of all time. Crash Holly?
No.
Hardcore Holly?
Nope.
Molly Holly?
Multiple Hollies here. I'm not getting any of them.
What about Bubba Ray Dudley?
Who?
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Absolutely not.
Devon Dudley.
Dudley not.
Spike Dudley.
Nope.
Big Dick Dudley.
No.
There's a family of Dudleys.
There's a family.
None of them are actually related, but they were all in ECW.
Dudley was a fantastic name.
Let's pick one more wrestler off the top of my head. Jinder Mahal.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Jinder's rise and downfall.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Shawn Michaels. This episode's about Shawn coming out of retirement, finally.
Good. We were excited.
Only to have the worst match of his career in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So, do we typically do a lot of matches in Saudi Arabia?
We put on about 2 shows a year.
Okay.
Have been since about 2018.
Alright.
It's a 10-year deal.
Okay.
Blood money, many people call it. It's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why they do it.
And we were excited for Shawn to come out of retirement?
Yes, we're excited for Shawn to come out of retirement. We're not excited for this match.
No.
But yes, no, a lot of people have wanted Shawn to come out of retirement. AJ Styles being one of them. He just kept saying, no, my retirement was perfect. Nothing will make me come out of retirement except for maybe a 7-figure paycheck. Who knows?
Yeah, 7-figure paycheck could bring most people out of retirement.
Yeah. So, some backstory on Shawn, since you don't know who he is. He's one of the best wrestlers in history. He's regarded as, anyway. He was what you would call the face of the company during the mid-90s.
Right.
Which was post-steroid trial.
Okay.
So, Hogan and all them are gone. Between him and Brett, I guess you would say, would be the faces around here. But it's not quite the Attitude Era, so Austin and Rock aren't in yet.
Okay.
Also, it's a very, very bad time to be in the wrestling business in the mid-90s because people don't care. So in 97, I believe it was, Bret Hart left after having a match with Shawn, who, this is called the Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart was, he's Canadian, so they're in Montreal. And Bret walked in as WWE Champion. He was leaving to go to WCW, and Vince wanted the belt off of him. He said, I'm not dropping the belt in Canada, because obviously, but we'll get back to the US and I'll drop it to you there. No worries. So, Vince, he went, okay, sounds great, Brett. Great, yeah. Yeah, we're going to screw him.
Definitely not going to screw him over here,
Yeah. And so, during this match, Shawn locks Brett in Brett's finisher, the sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
Vince comes out, calls for the bell gets rang, it says that Shawn Michaels wins by submission, Brett didn't tap. And Shawn's the new champion. Shawn was not happy about this
No, well, because he wants to win fair and square.
Shawn is notorious for being an asshole, and notorious for getting a lot of people fired, or at least not winning the WWE title when they're meant to, because Shawn doesn't want them to, or the clique won't let them, or whatever. If Shawn doesn't like you, then you're not going very far. But Shawn, locked in the sharpshooter, screwed Brett. Brett spat on Vince, did the whole WCW on the camera, then went and punched Vince backstage. Undertaker was sort of not happy at all with anybody. Undertaker was not, he is somebody that at one stage he stood behind the curtain waiting for Shawn to come back from his match against Stone Cold with Mike Tyson, special guest referee. He stood behind the curtain waiting for him to come back through, just in case Shawn screwed over Austin and didn't drop the belt to him. He was going to beat the shit out of him.
Gotcha. He likes to make sure other people play fair.
Yeah. Undertaker is company man. He was not happy with Vince.
No.
He was not, I think he let Brett punch Vince because of what happened, but normally he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting a bit far off of Shawn here. So Shawn, he retired in '98 due to a back injury. At that point, he'd had a 14-year career. He was commissioner for a while, then he returned as a wrestler in 2002, and continued wrestling up until WrestleMania 26 in 2010. That is when he retired, due to not ending the Undertaker streak. So Undertaker, don't know if we covered the streak.
Not particularly, no.
No, well, Undertaker had a win streak at WrestleMania. It started off not being anything, he just happened to win at WrestleMania a few times, but then they sort of saw it and went, he's won, 6 times at WrestleMania in a row.
Yeah.
So then it sort of started becoming
a
thing. And by the time he got to even the 2000s, it was actually, people were going, right, I'm ending the streak.
Yeah. Is this when Kane stepped in?
Oh, this is after Kane.
This is after Kane, yeah.
At WrestleMania 20 in 2004, Kane took on Undertaker. WrestleMania X7 in 2001, Hunter took on Taker. I think Ric Flair took him on the next year. Around this point is actually when Undertaker started doing some of the best in-ring work of his career. Taker, who debuted in 1990.
Yeah, wow.
Mid-2000s was his best stuff. So we get to WrestleMania 25 in 2009, and we have Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. Shawn Michaels come out all dressed in all white. He had the white spotlights and everything. Descending from the heavens almost.
I see. Yeah.
And Undertaker, the dark and everything. It was literally
kind
the battle
of heaven versus hell.
Literally light versus dark.
Yeah.
And Shawn lost that match, which then sent him on a year-long storyline, trying to get another match with Undertaker.
Gotcha.
He, in the end, it come down. I think Undertaker was the world champion at this point when we come into 2010, and so he tried to win the Royal Rumble, which he failed. Come down to the final 4, and he got eliminated or something. So then he sort of went, well, how do I get to fighting the Undertaker who's the world champion? I know. If he's not the world champion, he's not going to be fighting somebody. So then he snuck into Elimination Chamber and eliminated the Undertaker. Super kicked him, causing his elimination.
Wow, okay.
Also, obviously, pissing off the Undertaker.
Just bad position to put yourself in.
Yeah. Many call WrestleMania 25 one of the greatest matches of all time.
Okay.
That match between Shawn and Taker. So then they went to WrestleMania 26, and Undertaker had said he'll give him a match if he puts his career on the line, so it's career versus streak.
Yeah.
And they outdid their match. previous year.
Wow. Okay. So they did a big one.
Yeah. WrestleMania 25, they put them on sort of not in the middle of the card, but late in the card, but not the main event. It burnt out the crowd for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So this time they went, we're going to put you on last.
Yeah.
So they put him on last, and Undertaker won again, obviously. Shawn retired. Which, it was...
It was good.
It was even better than their one before. Arguably should have been 5 stars, both of them. This one being better, so probably 5.5, 6 stars. Yeah, so... Next year, 27, Triple H took him on again in No Holds Barred. He almost won, but didn't. Best thing on the show, that match. Then 28, we had End of an Era. Undertaker versus Triple H inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels as special guest rep.
Nice.
Lots to that one.
That's excellent.
And it looked like they were going to beat the streak.
Yeah.
Because at one point, I watched this live, it was awesome. Shawn Michaels hits a sweet chin music on Undertaker, turns around into a pedigree from Triple H. 1, 2, kick out.
Yeah.
Last second. Shawn was the ref. Shawn, like, who's been sort of impartial. Obviously, he's got stuff against Taker because he retired him. And Triple H is his best mate. You know, founded DX, all that sort of shit. And, yeah, so he tried to help Triple H win and didn't. And at that point, he realised, oh no. I just tried to cost Taker this match and it did not work. So Undertaker ended up winning that.
Yeah.
Then Taker took on CM Punk, and then he took on Brock Lesnar and lost.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar beat the streak.
Brock Lesnar beat the streak.
And then he took on Bray Wyatt and won, and then he took on Shane McMahon and won. Then he took on Roman Reigns and lost. Then he took on John Cena and won. And then WrestleMania 35, he didn't have a match. 36, he had the Boneyard match against AJ Styles and won, and that was his final match. So 37, 38, he didn't have a match, and I don't know if he's got a match at 39 yet, but he might. Yeah. So that's The Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels' WrestleMania history.
So Shawn's had a lot of matches, been retired by arguably one of the best wrestlers.
Greatest character ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Shawn would come back here and there.
Like
as a retired person does.
Guest referee.
Yeah, he would
or even a guest
just show up, just to, hey, it's Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Pop a rating.
Yeah, fair.
Now, let's talk about DX, because D-Generation X is a faction formed in 97, disbanded a few times, but always seems to come back. But every iteration of either had Shawn Michaels or Triple H.
Yeah.
Most of the time, both. Nowadays, when they show up, usually it's Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg. But not so much Billy Gunn anymore, given he's in AEW.
Right.
But yeah. 2006, Shawn Michaels and Triple H reformed DX as a proper tag team. They went on to win belts and all that. They were DX.
Yep.
Then in 2018, 8 years after he'd been retired, Triple H at this point was only working part-time. Only a couple of big matches here and there. 2 or 3 times a year. Kane was mayor of Knox County, so he was no longer really wrestling either.
Yep.
And Undertaker, well, he was almost retired.
Yep.
Still, as the same as Triple H, only working a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
They are having this match, which... Now, I'm going to spoil this part of the match. The best worker in this match was Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
The person who's been retired for 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly because Triple H injured himself in the match.
Okay.
He tore his pec.
Oh, this one, yep.
Like, this match went for nearly half an hour or something, and he tore it at about 10 minutes in.
We have mentioned this in a previous episode.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah. So, yeah, lots of people have wanted Shawn to come out of retirement. AJ Styles has always had a dream match against him. You know, lots of people have asked him, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we get the Brothers of Destruction, Taker and Kane, versus DX, Shawn and Hunter. The match is full of botches. They just don't seem to work like they used to, mostly because most of them should be retired.
Old and,
Yeah.
not meant to be here anymore.
Went just about half an hour, which is another thing, instead of, you know, working with them and going, maybe they won't be able to do a half an hour long match. We'll give them 10 minutes. They went, no, give them half an hour. Same as Goldberg. When they give Goldberg long matches, they tend to be pretty shitty.
He does, yeah.
But when they give him, you know, you've got 3 minutes, spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, very good. But yeah, so during the match, Triple H tore his pec, which did not help things. And yeah, Shawn at one point knocked Kane's mask off of his head, which was funny. And yeah, it was, Undertaker was blown up. I mean, they're also wrestling in Saudi Arabia, so it's hot.
Yeah.
Very hot.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a warm place there.
It's, generally pretty steamy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, even at night, you know, they are in the middle of the desert. But, yeah, so there was that. Then, at one point, Shawn went to dive off of the second rope to the outside. Undertaker and Kane didn't quite catch him.
Oof.
They were slightly far away, so he only really kicked them instead of landing on top of them.
Yeah. Which doesn't look great.
Doesn't look great.
Because you've just seen this guy jump off towards other people and fall short almost comedically, but you know he didn't do it on purpose, so it's not funny, it's just like,
Yeah. So then the ending to the match was super kick into a pedigree, their finisher. But due to Triple H not being able to really use his arm, he couldn't hook Kane's arms properly for a pedigree, so that just looked stupid. Also, neither of them really jumped either. Kane didn't jump and Triple H didn't really jump, so then it sort of just...
It's a lot of ground level sort of...
Yeah, when the pedigree is hook both arms, jump up in the air and plant them face first, with neither of them really jumping, it doesn't get that impact.
No.
It just looks sad. And, yeah, so... that was how they ended the match. Main event of the show, by the way. The last match on the show. The last thing you see before that show ends.
Everyone's been waiting for, getting hyped as hell because it's going to be these 4 massive wrestlers.
This is the first time all 4 of them, like in a tag team sense, have fought each other.
Yeah.
They've never done Brothers of Destruction versus DX before. Given they were all around in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I guess it'd be hard. You'd have to do it when they come back in 2006. But still, they didn't do it before. So yeah, it was, yeah. I rewatched the match. Everybody shits on it a lot. It's not actually that bad when you rewatch it, I didn't think.
It's still a bit of fun.
Yeah.
You've still got 4 massive wrestlers brawling each other.
Yeah, I think mostly because I went into it knowing how bad it was, it sort of wasn't as bad as what I thought and whatnot. But
to understand, the audience on the night was there ready for this crazy, epic final match.
Yeah.
And got a bunch of old dudes just sort of tripping over each other.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit disappointing. I do remember watching this match live.
Yeah.
Because Saudi Arabia shows, right? They're annoying. They're on at 3 in the morning. So I'd woken up at 6 or 7 or whatever time it was to check to see how it was all going, and this match was just starting. So
because it's a made final event, yeah.
So I went, wow, I might watch this, and so I'd woke up at 6 or 7 or whatever and watched this match, where I could have gone to sleep.
Yeah, I might as well have.
Yeah, but No, it was, yeah. So, let's break down the main issues of this match. Triple H suffered an injury. That was...
Not a fake injury, a real injury.
I mean, I think it was already bruising by the time the match ended. Like it was... Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen a pec tear before, but it's not nice to watch. It's painful looking.
I'm going to show you something. I'll put it up on screen. I'm sure everybody that's watching this knows what I'm about to put up on screen. But here's Cody Rhodes.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, he did that a couple of days earlier. Then he had a Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins.
How?
Because it's Cody Rhodes.
How did he move his arm? Must have had
He forced it to
that
move.
much cortisone. Just couldn't feel it. And
Yeah, he won that match.
That's embarrassing.
I mean, there's him with the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've seen a couple of pec tears. But, yeah, so... he suffered a pec tear. Didn't help anything. Then the match was too long. That was another issue. Also,
I think
too
that's
slow.
the underlying issue.
Yeah. It was also too slow. You know, because it should have been a bit quicker, a bit more fast-paced. The hype of it was maybe a bit too...
Much?
Yeah.
Expectations were built too high.
Yeah, so that... I mean, that's not a WWE issue, it's not a performance issue, that's a fan issue. Like,
that's a, yeah.
It's still an issue.
It's an issue, yeah. It's like, you know, with certain movies where a lot of people complain about it and then you realise it's just because you hyped it up too much.
Yeah.
Realistically, you were expecting too much of this.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, that's that. And, yeah, those are really the biggest issues of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a match that probably should have happened 10 years earlier.
And would have been epic. Could have gone for half an hour.
Hang on. Look, no, 10 years is fine. 2018, yeah. Yeah, but, yeah, it would have been fine, but, I mean, yeah, it's Shawn Michaels' return match. That, I think, is what everybody as well thinks. It's like, he came out of retirement for this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
Hey, it's a worthy match to come out of retirement for. It just didn't play out so well.
Yeah. So, yeah, is there anything else you need
to know?
Clarified or anything?
I think I've got a pretty good visual. I've got a pretty good visual of these four superstars. Yeah, just
shit the bed.
Really couldn't carry the match the way it needed to be carried.
Yeah.
Couldn't perform the way they needed to perform
for differing reasons.
Yeah, well,
like Triple H, you can't put it on him too much, given he was injured.
Yeah.
But then also, if he didn't do the spot where he got injured, he wouldn't have gotten injured.
True.
Which could have changed things.
Did he get injured earlier in the match?
Yeah,
or later?
it was about 10 minutes into the match.
Okay.
So for the next 20 minutes, he's not.
See, I was
really
going to say, if he got injured later in the match, we could almost say his injury was because the match went too long.
Yeah.
And he was exhausted and doing stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, he did a move which he does every match. Like, they whip him into the corner.
Yeah.
But he sort of hooks his arm over the rope and then flicks himself up and over. You know, all the way to the floor, so it makes it look like they've thrown him a hell of a lot harder than they did.
Yeah.
Just that, obviously, he didn't let go or he whipped himself the wrong way or something.
He hadn't warmed up properly, or maybe he had...
whatever the case is,
he
got injured. So you can't...
You can't put that on him.
Yeah, you can't you can't say that it's his fault.
Undertaker at this point has been performing for...
nearly
30 years.
30 years. Yeah. Well, since he debuted in WWE. Like, he was wrestling before that.
Well, true. and at a high level for most of that.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's... At this point, he's done.
How long after this match did each of these four finish for good? Or,
Well, Shawn hasn't wrestled since.
Okay.
He's gone back in retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H retired earlier this year
Okay.
due to heart issues.
Yeah.
Undertaker retired after the Boneyard match, which was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And Kane isn't retired yet.
No.
He just is still a mayor.
Yeah.
So he's
got other jobs.
Yeah, he's not wrestling as much.
So he came back specifically for that match as well.
Yeah.
And then sort of hasn't been back again since.
Oh, he's been back here and there since.
Just for little cameos and whatnot.
Yeah, nothing. Like, he's not a full-time wrestler or anything. He's not even really a part-time wrestler.
No.
But yeah, so that's yeah.
Yep.
So I suppose I'll fix it.
As best you can, yeah. It's sort of, like you said, not so much a creative issue, but I'm sure you've found some fun ways to prevent things. Is one of your things, before you even start, is one of your things Triple H not getting injured?
I'm not 100% sure.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, but the first thing is let's just not do the Saudi shows.
Okay.
That would help.
Right.
That would get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Saudi shows are Saudi shows. A, they're shit, and B, they're controversial in many ways.
Yeah.
And lots of people don't like them. I don't really care. It's annoying that it's on 3 in the morning. But
it's sort of a money grab. It doesn't really gain you a lot of audience members.
Yeah, and lots of people refuse to go due to the way that they are over there.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't go because of religion
Where they are
and that
over
sort of
there.
shit. I mean, they've now allowed women to wrestle, but you've got to be fully clothed and everything.
Oh, wow.
You know, they can't wear their gear or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's whole parts of the show that can't even happen when you're doing it.
Yeah, very. Like there's lots of things. I mean, the first ever, might have been the second Saudi show. They were doing that, but shortly after, like a couple of weeks later, they were doing a female only event.
Yeah, just to make up for it.
Well, many people were there going like, you're not even advertising that because they can't advertise that. But you know, like you've got this big show on that's getting so much more views than everything else, and you're not even promoting your women only show.
Yeah.
And yes, they say that it wasn't because of that being only men, but it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so I mean, if we just don't do the Saudi deal, that makes sense.
Helps.
Yep. Yeah, we're not going to really get into that anymore though, because it doesn't relate to the episode, and we'd be here all day. If we do have to do this match, then let's cut it to 15 minutes.
Absolutely. The time, definitely, yeah.
Yep. Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
Which
so that,
would happen as you made the match shorter. You know, they're not trying to save themselves for a 30-minute match. They can afford to go a bit harder at it.
Yeah, like we can start the match with a super kick to Undertaker from Shawn, a chokeslam to Triple H from Kane. Like a lot of big moves. We can have Kane hit his stuff on Shawn and no-selling Shawn, because why not? Makes him look like a monster. Shawn can tag in Triple H after a chokeslam reversal. Triple H hits all of his big moves. Hits a pedigree. Kane goes to the corner, which Undertaker tags in. Hits his stuff on Hunter. Reverses a chokeslam to tag Shawn back in. Hits his stuff on Taker. They can replay some of the WrestleMania 26 stuff, because that was great. Have Kane get the tag, walk into a super kick pedigree. Shawn picks up the pin because Shawn's come back. And that's that. That's the match.
That's the match.
They just hit all their big moves. You You know,
get the crowd hyped. It's what people came to see.
Yeah, just have them run the highlights.
Yeah.
15-minute match, run the highlights. Shawn and Taker can do their WrestleMania stuff. To fill in all the filler bits. And then, they hit the super kick pedigree combo on Kane, like they did in real life. But Triple H doesn't get injured, so it doesn't look shit. I've changed the entire match layout, so Triple H shouldn't get injured.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so that sort of solves that problem. And, Shawn picks up the victory because Shawn's coming out of retirement for this match. He should always win this match because he's come out of retirement for it. Undertaker and Kane don't need the win. Admittedly, DX don't either, but
true.
Somebody's got to win.
Someone's got to win.
Let's bring in the Nexus, they can win.
Yeah.
But, I think doing that helps, And like I said, hopefully it stops Triple H from getting injured. It's shorter, so it doesn't drag. We're getting the highlights. That will artificially make the match better. It might not be a better match, but people will go, oh, but they hit this, and they hit this, and they hit this, so it sounds better.
Yeah.
It's not as long, shouldn't have many botches. Shawn picking up the win makes sense due to his comeback. DX was winning anyway, so better Shawn than Triple H. Do it to Kane because you don't want to pin Taker.
No.
And also, if Shawn pins Taker, then it makes the WrestleMania 26 match irrelevant.
Gotcha.
Because it was all about Undertaker beating Shawn.
Yeah.
So technically, then he can go, well, you still haven't beaten me.
Yeah.
And that can set up a match in the future if you wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to, but it could. So, what do you reckon of my booking of that match?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think, just the key... This is a lighter one. There's not, some huge, horrible, creative decisions or some big what the fuck were they thinking? It's just... I feel like the producers got almost as excited as the crowd did for this match, and they were like, oh, let's get it going for like half an hour.
Yeah.
It would have been good if the four wrestlers themselves or someone else could have gone, that's not going to work. These guys are not cut out for a half-hour match. They're coaches, they're whatever, I don't care. Somebody should have put their hand up and said, it's not going to last. And the crowd will be just as excited for a 10-15 minute match full of action-packed stuff rather than a half-hour match of these guys taking it slow and still getting buggered by the end of it. Yeah,
I will point out just one little thing that I just thought of that goes against my booking. That you put on this match, really great. The fans will then turn around and go, I wish it was longer. I wish we got more of that. And then we'd be asking why there wasn't more of it, but... Yeah.
I guess...
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's kind of a catch there. Creative paradox.
Yeah, so... How does this help WWE? Well, by doing this, people shouldn't shit on the match as much.
Yeah. Okay, so it copped a bit of hate.
Yeah, and having them have a good match will hopefully change some people's minds about the Saudi shows, and that they're not just for money, they put on good matches and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, like none of this is going to equal more money.
No.
Not unless you ran back Shawn versus Taker again. That would make more money, like I said earlier, but...
You're going to ruin other stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you'd do... I mean, it's just going to be another match. It's not going to be as good as their 25 and 26 matches, and you need to have Taker win again. So it's all just going to be the same. So, yeah.
The only place I see that you earn more money is, like you said, if this match goes better and they get more support for the Saudi matches, then they can do more Saudi matches. And like you said, the Saudi matches pay well.
Yeah.
So anything that I guess makes the Saudi matches better is making more money. But like you said, this match was already at peak audience hype. Like, there's no way you're gonna make more money from your audience. It was already, yeah.
I will point out too that prior to this match, like only by a couple of weeks at Super Showdown in Melbourne, we had a last time ever singles match between Undertaker and Triple H.
Okay.
That also went for like half an hour and was alright.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I was actually there live, but I wasn't. I had to watch it from home. But that's when I won my 5th Predictions World Championship, which I held for 366 days consecutively.
Very nice.
Because I am a god. But, let's say that. That's it for this episode. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow the Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Links those are in the description. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. And other than that, Sid, say goodbye.
Catch you later.
And good night.